What you're about to witness is nothing short of a catastrophe for professional wrestling. The WWE Universe is in absolute chaos right now, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that what happened to Roman Reigns might be the most controversial attack we've seen in years. Triple H has finally spoken, and let me tell you, his words are sending shockwaves through the entire industry. But here's what nobody is talking about, and this is what's going to blow your mind. The real story behind this attack goes deeper than anyone realizes. Stick around because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this situation is completely unacceptable, why Triple H might have blood on his hands, and why Roman Reigns' career could be hanging by a thread. Hello viewers, if you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. This is Wrestle Scope, and we're about to expose the truth that WWE doesn't want you to know. The dangerous attack that changed everything. Let me take you back to the moment that stopped the wrestling world in its tracks. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the man who dominated WWE for over 1,200 days, was brutally, viciously, and mercilessly attacked by not one, but two of WWE's most dangerous superstars, Bronson and Bron Breakker. Now, I want you to really think about this for a second. This wasn't just some random backstage scuffle. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment confrontation. This was a calculated, premeditated assault on the biggest star in professional wrestling. Bronson, all 330 pounds of raw power, and Bron Breakker, a second-generation wrecking machine with the strength of his legendary bloodline, came together like a perfect storm of destruction, and Roman Reigns was caught in the eye of that storm. The footage is disturbing, folks, and I mean genuinely disturbing. We're talking about multiple tsunamis from the top rope. We're talking about spears that would make Goldberg jealous. We're talking about an assault so severe that medical personnel had to rush to the scene. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is where I need you to pay very close attention, because the mainstream wrestling media is missing this crucial detail. This attack didn't happen in a vacuum. This wasn't random. This was orchestrated. For days after this attack, Triple H said nothing. The chief content officer of WWE, the man who's supposed to protect his talent, the man who claims to care about the safety and well-being of every superstar on that roster, he was silent. And let me tell you something right now. That silence was deafening. The WWE Universe was in an uproar, demanding answers, demanding justice, demanding that something be done about this heinous act of violence. And what did we get? Crickets. Roman Reigns, love him or hate him, is the cornerstone of WWE programming. He's the man who carried this company through the pandemic era. He's the man who elevated the Universal Championship and later the undisputed WWE Championship to levels we haven't seen since the days of John Cena. And this is how he's treated? Now, when Triple H finally decided to address the situation, his response was, let's just say it was inadequate at best and complicit at worst. He called the attack unacceptable. Those were his exact words, unacceptable. But then what? Where's the action behind those words? You see, this is exactly what's wrong with WWE's current leadership structure. They talk a big game about protecting their superstars, about creating a safe working environment, about maintaining order and discipline. But when the rubber meets the road, when it's time to actually do something about the chaos that's unfolding under their watch, they fold like a cheap suit. And here's the real question that nobody in the wrestling media wants to ask. Did Triple H know this was going to happen? Because let me present some facts that are going to make you question everything you thought you knew about this situation. All right, put on your detective hats because we're about to go down the rabbit hole. And trust me, what you're about to hear is going to change everything about how you view this entire situation. Fact number 1, Bronson has been on an absolute tear since his return to WWE. He's been destroying everyone in his path, and he's been doing it with zero consequences. Every time he commits an act of violence, every time he goes too far, Triple H does nothing but smile and nod like it's all part of some master plan. Fact number 2, Bron Breakker has been positioned as the future of WWE. He's a Steiner, he's got the pedigree, he's got the look, and Triple H has been salivating over him since day one. This is Triple H's golden boy, his pet project, his way of proving that he can create the next generation of superstars. Fact number 3, Roman Reigns has been increasingly difficult to work with behind the scenes. Multiple sources, and I'm talking about legitimate sources with direct knowledge of WWE's creative process, have reported that Roman wants more control over his character, more input into storylines, more say in who he works with. And let's be honest, Triple H doesn't like talent who challenge his authority.
Now, connect the dots with me here. You've got two rising stars who need that big moment to catapult them into the main event stratosphere. You've got an established star who's becoming a problem backstage. And you've got a COO who has a history of burying talent who don't play ball. Am I saying that Triple H ordered this attack? No, I'm not saying that because I can't prove it. But what I am saying is that the circumstances are extremely suspicious, and the lack of meaningful consequences for Reed and Breakker speaks volumes about what's really going on behind the curtain. But you know who the real victims are in all of this? It's not just Roman Reigns, although make no mistake, he's absolutely a victim of a coordinated assault that should have never been allowed to happen. The real victims are the fans. We invest our time, our money, and our emotions into these storylines. We buy the tickets, we subscribe to Peacock, we purchase the merchandise. We make WWE a billion-dollar company, and this is how they repay us? With inconsistent storylines, with dangerous in-ring situations, with a complete disregard for logical consequences? Think about this from a storytelling perspective, and I know some of you are going to say, it's just a storyline, relax. But that's exactly the problem. Even if this is scripted, even if Roman Reigns knew this was coming, the message it sends is absolutely toxic. What message does it send when two superstars can gang up on the biggest star in the company and face no immediate repercussions? What does it teach the younger talent in the locker room? That might makes right? That as long as you're willing to cross the line, you'll be rewarded with screen time and a push? This is the same problem that plagued WWE during the Attitude Era, during the Ruthless Aggression Era, and now it's rearing its ugly head again. The glorification of violence without consequences, the celebration of chaos without order, the promotion of anarchy without accountability. And Triple H standing there calling it unacceptable while doing nothing substantial about it, that's not leadership. That's cowardice. That's passing the buck. That's hoping the controversy generates buzz while refusing to actually address the systemic problems that allowed this situation to occur in the first place. Now, let's talk about what Triple H actually said, because his choice of words is fascinating when you break it down. He called the attack unacceptable. Okay, we established that. But then he went on to talk about how Bronson Reed and Braun Breakker are hungry and want to make an impact. Excuse me? You're justifying their actions while simultaneously condemning them? This is classic WWE corporate doublespeak. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want the controversy and the attention that comes from a shocking angle like this, but they don't want to actually commit to treating the perpetrators like the villains they're supposed to be. Triple H also said something that really caught my attention. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that in this business, sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands. Oh, really? So now we're promoting vigilante justice? We're encouraging superstars to bypass authority and attack whoever they want, whenever they want? What kind of precedent does that set? If Bronson Reed and Braun Breakker can attack Roman Reigns without facing immediate suspension, fines, late termination, then what's stopping every superstar from doing the same thing? What's stopping the entire locker room from descending into complete anarchy? And here's the most infuriating part of Triple H's response. He made it seem like Roman Reigns brought this on himself. He talked about how Roman has ruled with an iron fist and how every action has consequences. Are you kidding me right now? So Roman Reigns playing a heel character, doing exactly what WWE Creative asked him to, is somehow justification for a 2-on-1 assault that could have resulted in serious injury. That's victim blaming at its finest. That's WWE trying to manipulate the narrative to protect their golden boys while throwing their biggest star under the bus. Let's talk specifically about Bronson Reed for a moment, because this guy has become WWE's most dangerous weapon, and I mean that in both the best and worst ways possible. Bronson Reed is an incredible athlete. For a man his size to move the way he does, to fly through the air like he does, to execute those devastating tsunamis with such precision, it's genuinely impressive. But here's the problem. He's too reckless. This isn't the first time Bronson Reed has gone too far. This isn't the first time he's injured or nearly injured an opponent with his aggressive style. And every single time it happens, WWE just shrugs it off like that's just Bronson being Bronson. No, that's unacceptable. You know what happens in legitimate sports when an athlete repeatedly engages in dangerous conduct? They get suspended. They get fines. They face real consequences for putting their fellow athletes at risk. But in WWE, under Triple H's leadership, dangerous workers are celebrated as long as they're generating buzz, as long as people are talking about them, as long as they're creating viral moments. Who cares if someone gets hurt, right? Who cares if careers are shortened, if bodies are broken, if lives are permanently altered? And the worst part? Triple H has the audacity to call this attack unacceptable while simultaneously featuring Bronson Reed prominently on every single show since the attack happened. He's not punished. He's rewarded. He's not disciplined. He's elevated. That's not just a mixed message. That's a dangerous message. It tells every single person in that locker room that the rules don't matter, that safety doesn't matter, that the only thing that matters is making headlines. Now, Braun Breakker is a slightly different story, but he's equally problematic in this situation. Braun is being groomed as the future of WWE, and I get it. I understand why. He's got the bloodline, he's got the intensity, he's got the physical tools, but he's also got something else. He's got Triple H's protection. This is the same pattern we've seen throughout Triple H's entire career. He finds a guy who reminds him of himself or fits his vision of what a WWE superstar should be, and that guy can do no wrong. They can injure people, they can go into business for themselves, they can violate company policy, doesn't matter. They're golden boys who operate under a different set of rules. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Bron Breakker. This man participated in a 2-on-1 assault on the biggest star in the company, and what consequences has he faced? None. If anything, he's gotten more television time, more opportunities, more push. Meanwhile, other superstars who've made far less egregious mistakes have been buried, depushed, or outright fired. The inconsistency is staggering, the hypocrisy is infuriating, and Triple H calling the situation unacceptable while doing nothing to actually make it unacceptable is the height of corporate dishonesty. Bron Breakker is talented, nobody's denying that, but talent doesn't give you the right to end another man's career. Potential doesn't justify dangerous, reckless behavior, and being Triple H's chosen one shouldn't mean you get to operate outside the rules that govern everyone else. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. What does this mean for Roman Reigns moving forward? Because despite what WWE wants you to believe, this situation